Good afternoon. My name is Tumi Tladi and welcome to my YouTube channel. So let's continue. In our previous video, we did cover project structure where we look at the shared project, Android project, and iOS project. So we are done with the video and now we're going to look at Mvvm architecture. What I want to do, I want to ask Google or just to do a research on the internet what Mvvm is all about so that I also, have a little bit of a perspective of what this thing is. I know it's an architecture, but what it is, that remains a very interesting question. You know what? Instead of firing Firefox, let me be smart. Let me fire Google Chrome itself. New tab. Let's do Mvvm architecture. It's a design pattern. But let's do Mvvm. This should be interesting. Not for Android. So model view model is a software architectural pattern that facilitates the separation of the development of the graphical user interface, which is the view, be it via a markup language or GUI code, from the development of the business logic or backend the model, so that the view is not dependent on any blah blah blah. It's not dependent on any specific model platform. So basically, this is what it is. What else can we learn here? In Mvvm, the view is active as opposed to a passive view which has no knowledge of the model and is completely manipulated by a controller presenter. Okay. That's it. We are done. So that's Mvvm. Now, how is Mvvm in like the models? Oh, they said. So this should be. I got it the other way around. So, okay, models, views, and view models, right? I also included the services. So this is my architecture in Xamarin, where I also have the services, because the service is supposed to help in this regard. Okay, so with that being said, let's go to, oh, by the way, the app, there's the app. The next video, one of the video I intend to do is going to be a split screen. But before we do split screen, the next video we're going to talk about permissions. And then I'm going to remove the permissions assigned for this app. And then so that we can look at the permissions, how you grant the permissions, and then where is the code located and how do you go about that. But for now, we need to talk about this Mvvm pattern. Okay, so Visual Studio, we're going to focus now on the shared project. So we have the models, we have the views, and then we have the view models. Okay, now when it comes to the models, I want you to pay attention to the structure of this folder called models, where I have business, general, services. This services is different from this services. I have startup, I have store, I have uploads, I have voice messages, and then outside I have what we call terms of service. Oh, we should talk about terms of service. I forgot. Before split screen, well, I believe after split screen, yes, there's a what we call terms of service. Which one should come first? Because after this guy, wait, we should talk about terms of service. So let me see something. Let's go to the code behind of app.xaml. Yes, we should talk about terms of service after this guy, because terms of service is a very interesting feature, a tiny feature I developed myself. So this should be terms of service page. It's actually a feature, that I developed myself. Yes, good. And we'll do this guy later on, but this can only come after we explore this file, what this file is all about. Cool, because there's very interesting stuff here. Interesting. So let's remove this guy. So this is what makes up the models. So we have the models. Now let's look at the views. Aha, when it comes to the views, we have two types of views. We have content pages and content views. So this should be clear that here we are literally focusing on content pages and also content views, because this is very, very important. I believe when it comes to WPF, there's what we call views also when it comes to WPF. So we have two types of views. We have content pages and we have content views. So I'm going to refer most of the things as pages. So let's start with content pages. Also, what do you see? Business folder, general, services, startup, store, voice messages. I have outside. Why is startup page outside? And then we have a terms of service page. Okay, we'll come back to it. And then I have what we call content views. So content views, I have those are targeting business and voice messages. And then I have generally outside, I have a base indicator view, I have connectivity view, I have a fly out header view. And we'll talk about these guys as time goes. I'll see what's coming, what's next on this list, because this list still needs to, we need to add more stuff. So this is the views. Then we have what we call view models. Also, we have folder business, general, services, startup, store, voice messages. We have the base view model. We have startup screen view model, and then we have terms of service view model. Okay, so it's supposed to be like this, but I want to start with what we call terms of service, because it's going to be the first page that you're going to see. This that you see, it's not a terms of service, but this is a startup page, this one. Okay, let's talk about this page that you see currently here on my physical device. It's called startup page, right? So there has to be what we call the model for it, I believe. Is there a model for startup page? No, it seems like there isn't. But we do have what we call startup view model. Am I really sure that? Yeah, there's no startup. Okay, let me search. This will help me. Start up. Give me stuff. Give me stuff. What do we have here? So the question is it possible for you to have everything except for the models? Well, it seems like in this case, there's no startup model. And I'm wondering why, but it seems like there isn't. Why is it taking too long now? Typical Visual Studio. There we go. We have a lot of stuff. Okay. Can we tell this guy where to search? Okay, now there's a lot of stuff. But if we do startup model, let's make sure that the results. So you see, we only have what we call startup view model. Oh, it is startup screen. Sorry, so the startup screen. I only have a startup screen. Not there. I don't care about WPF. I care about this guy. I don't care about utilities. I only have for view models and the page. Yes, it's possible that we don't have the model in this case. Okay, no, it's fine. But we do have startup screen view model, and then we do have eventual startup page. And then this is the architecture. Then there's what we call services. Now, services are the ones that are talking to what we call the back end. this guy, Tim Corey, he keeps on saying that Web API, it's not the back end, is the UI. So it's like it's a front end. I don't know, but he keeps on saying that. If you can search Tim Corey on YouTube, you will hear this guy constantly saying Web API and MVC are both UIs, and then that the console application is a UI. So that's what he says. So, but now I'm going to say this is what talks to the back end, which is the Web API. We did cover the extensive series on Web API where we have businesses, general services, startups, uploads, and view. So this is the structure. This is the structure. But we'll cover the rest of the things as we dig deeper into them. But for now, I'm going to keep this video short, simple. So we have the models. And then when it comes to the views, we have two types of views. We have content views, and then we have content pages. So these are the views, and then we have what we call view models. Finally, I have what I call services. So this is the architecture, Mvvm. I'm going to call it Mvvms architecture. That's mine. It's called Mvvms architecture. It's very, very important. So the next video we're going to be doing is going to be permissions, because I intend to get all the way to a splash screen. So the next video we're going to do next is going to be permissions. And we're going to look at where they're being set, what's happening here, right? So with that being said, thank you very much. I hope you found this video informative, as it is informative for me as I continue to teach and show how I build my system. So with that being said, please leave a comment if you have any. Like the video and then subscribe. Tell your fellow developers about there is what we call Xamarin, and I'm here to show with a live app. Thank you very much. Until next time.